And guys, we are live
Yep.
for a
Depressing
very
streak पे live
depressing, yes, a very depressing streak. As the title suggests and as our mood suggests, more or less Ajay and me, I guess. But Param must be pissed off for other reasons too. He has more reasons to be pissed off. Oh man, Ajay, first of all, man, like any as in as an Azzurri fan, speechless after last night.
मेरे को वेंचूरा का मुझे याद आ गया. That's not a good memory. This was just I'm at a loss of words. समझ में नहीं आ रहा क्या बोलूं, क्या परफॉर्मेंस था ये. Such a flat performance overall. I think barring a few minutes against Albania, I don't think so. Italy have looked like they've been, they've not looked good enough. Very, very sad.
And the worst part is actually after going down to Albania and the way they made that comeback, you thought, okay, that is Italy's character, सब कुछ-
Character है, ये है, मतलब
Yeah, but Ajay and Param, as मैं तुमको एक चीज बताता हूँ, पूछता हूँ, as a player, अगर तुम लोग होंगे, मैं आज अजय, यू आर अ गोल कीपर एंड मैं बोलूंगा नहीं आज तू सेंटर फॉरवर्ड खेलेगा, तो कैसे खेलेगा मेरे को ये बताएंगे आप? कैसे खेलोगे सेंटर फॉरवर्ड आप बीइंग अ गोल कीपर? सो my biggest point here is always has been, first of all, one eye in 2026. I understand, for me, sorry, bar my language, but utter bullshit. Because if you are in a tournament and if you're playing a group stage game, I understand. But in a knockout stage, if you're saying my one eye is on 2026, bullshit. First, get through this. You are a
Chintan
defending
bhai,
champion.
there was an audio issue for you. You might have to repeat. थोड़ा robotic हो गया था आपका आवाज.
Am I audible now? Abhi?
Yeah, perfect. हाँ,
So
perfect.
I'm saying that these excuses, one eye on 2026, but Param, 2026 में eye रख के करेंगे क्या when 2024 इतना खराब जा रहा है?
उस पे तो आएंगे चिंतन में. लेट्स गेट टू इट. जस्ट थोड़े पहले अपने चैट को देख लेते. लेट्स जस्ट सी हु इज इन द हाउस पहले. आई विल कम टू योर क्वेश्चन. वी हैव रोहित शाह हु सेज हाय. मडरेडिस्टा रोहित हु सेज हाय. निशांत भी सेम. दीपू सेज मैं वारगास प्रेडिक्शन. हाँ यार, पर पूरे टूर्नामेंट में तो वारगास कुछ कर नहीं रहा था. दैट्स व्हाट आई हैड सेड टू यू. बट कुडोस टू यू, अमेजिंग गोल उसने मारा. मैजिक तिवारी सेज आई एम हार्टब्रोकन आफ्टर वाचिंग इटली बट इंडिया वन, सो इट्स अ मिक्स ऑफ इमोशंस. चिंतन भाई के लिए उल्टा है वो. पूरा
मेरे लिए I resonate that.
Yeah, दुख दर्द पीड़ा जो बोलते हैं. Thoughts on Spalletti. हाँ, that was just bullshit. We'll come to that. Thoughts on Spalletti criticizing Inter players, because we all pretty much agree it was bullshit. We will come to it and we'll come to what he exactly said before people start assuming. Donnarumma made silly mistake. यार इसमें तुम प्लेयर को बोल के क्या करोगे? मतलब इसमें कोच की गलती है. मैं सिंपल चिंतन भाई बोले ना अभी जो गोलकीपर और स्ट्राइकर का एनालॉजी से how the hell was Barella playing as a regista? ये हम कल रात से डिस्कस कर रहे हैं. अगर if no one is familiar with the term regista, deep lying playmaker. Barella is not a deep lying playmaker. उसने मैच के पहले बोला I want to play Barella as a deep lying playmaker to man mark Xhaka. And I was scratching my head कि you're limiting your best player, जो चिंतन भाई कल हम लोग को मैच के टाइम बोल रहे थे. He's a box to box player who's going to contribute to the attack more, and you have already limited him. इसलिए आप देख रहे थे एक अटैक बन नहीं रहा.
Param, it's simple. Barella is the best player in the squad. That's it. End of story. Consistently, Italy's best player. If you would in this squad, if anyone has to pick one, is Barella.
Yeah. And we have love coach who says there's no chemistry between players. हाँ, ये तो बराबर है. Chemistry नहीं है वो हम सब जानते. देख, there's nothing wrong with that. The thing is, this group of players has to gel. We agree. We are not denying. But even with that, ये ना एक coach रहता है ना, उसकी एक familiarity रहती है, उसको handle करना आना चाहिए उसको. Ravindra says Barella is a great player who's used to playing at the highest level of football, but that was pretty bad. But again, bad, but why was it bad? He was being played as a regista. He's not a regista. What's wrong with Spalletti? And I'm not making this up. He said this before the game in his interview. Why not play him in his natural role? Sure, Fagioli made a mistake on the goal as well, but अगर आप ये players को natural role में खिलाओगे तो they can at least be comfortable. That's the problem here. The Spalletti starting Sharawi out of nowhere. Zakani मतलब panic substitution कर रहे हैं just because he scored a late minute goal. अजय भाई आपने ये बोला था ना उस दिन वो क्रोएशिया वाले गेम में हाफ टाइम पे फ्रतेजी को लाया बराबर. दैट वाज नॉट नीडेड. आई एग्री. इस गेम में जब आपको ये नीडेड बर्स्ट ऑफ एनर्जी, केओस, कुछ नहीं, उसको लाया 4 मिनट व्हेन दे वर बस 4 मिनट बचा था तब लाया उसको. एंड आई एम स्क्रैचिंग माय हेड. वी विल गेट टू इट. The whole team played badly, but our midfield, everyone was abysmal, I would say. Not just the midfield, everyone's. I think Skamaka was the worst player out there. I'll be very honest with you. I think he was the worst. DJ Bhai is here. सब लोग आ गए आज rant करने. We'll get to it individually. Then I'll start pulling up stuff. Nice to have you, DJ Bhai. Obviously mood तो खास नहीं होगा. फ्रांस का watch along नहीं यार. फ्रांस पहले जीते बेल्जियम को, पहले वही काफी है, देख लेते. But I think I'll start with Chintan and DJ Bhai because they're limited on time also. I'll come to DJ Bhai first. मतलब I know there's not much to ask, DJ Bhai. Just take the floor and give your thoughts.
Param, I don't know where to start. Yeah, I mean, if language could be explicit, it would be right now. Today would be the perfect time to kind of show what the vocabulary is all about. It's shocking, yeah. Like I have supported Italy since 1990, Italia 1990, and I don't think I have seen such a poor performance from an Italian team. These guys have no guts, no grinta. Just simply, I mean, for lack of a better terminology, I mean, just lack balls on the pitch, and I've never seen any team. I mean, forget Italy. I've never seen any team. We play football at Cooperage. I haven't seen teams so scared to like touch the ball. Like why are they running from it? I just can't seem to understand. And what really irritated the whole mood after that performance was Spalletti's interview after that. I mean, it is just like next level ridiculous. I mean, he's talking about the heat.
Yeah.
You're playing Switzerland. What are you talking about the heat? So those players don't feel heat or what? I mean, like, I mean, really, yeah. There's a limit to delusion,
Yeah, and DJ Bhai,
then-
to that point, I just want to ask you one more thing because I just asked Chintan and Ajay Bhai and Ravindra has pointed this out as well. It doesn't matter which club we support here. He says it's also pathetic what Spalletti is doing now, selling out Inter and trying to pass the blame. मतलब tournament के पहले he was like, मैं Inter के इस पे focus करूंगा, and yesterday he was like, the Inter players won the Scudetto too soon, so they got comfortable. That was his excuse for the performance.
It's shocking, right? Like, I mean, the level of delusion and what is sad is he's thrown his players under the bus. All his players. Forget the Inter block. I mean, how do you do that as a player? These are the players that kept you in the tournament. Zakani is the one who came off the bench and scored that winner for you. Others you'd be even more embarrassed than that. So I don't know. It's a question we've gone back and forth on in terms of like, is Spalletti really cut out for this national team job to begin with? Maybe his understanding of the game is only on a club level where he gets that kind of time day in and day out on the workings of a team. Like I'm just so. The thing that is irritating is the fact that the team just actually we still don't know what this team was capable of. That's the sad part. Okay, on paper, all of us, we did the preview, we figured out, okay, this team, we can't write, they don't have the kind of talent that Italian teams of the past have carried, but we don't know what they're capable of at the same time. And that comes down to how you imprint the team. I mean, like Fagioli sitting there, you haven't used him. You've gone back and forth on Jorginho. It's ridiculous. I mean, we saw what Fagioli did for the little time that he got. And then you've gone from a back three to a back four to a back three. I mean, like you're in a tournament. Where's the hope to kind of keep going, tinkering so much?
I agree. And
Italy, you guys are the defending champions. I mean, at least show up. There's no harm in losing. And all of this is taking nothing away from the Swiss, right? Like I think they've had great momentum in the tournament. Kudos to them. But we don't know only what was the real Italy. What was the real Italy?
Fair enough. And वो मैं आपसे agree करता हूँ यार, because we, as you said, what was the real Italy? But I will also say that these bunch of players are not so bad. Sure, I'm not saying that Spalletti is the only one at fault. Sure, some players have to look in the mirror. I agree. But I can't. Chintan, I'll come to you with this because many people, all fans of all clubs, fans of who support the Azzurri, सब लोग यही बोल रहे हैं कि ये जो group of players है ना इतना खराब नहीं है. They are not that great. जैसे DJ भाई ने बोला, fair enough. But they're not that bad कि they should be getting dominated like this. ठीक है, चलो Swiss were good. You have to give them full credit. They have set a standard in this in international competitions, to be fair. But यार क्या था वो? What the hell did we watch? This team was unable to play out of a simple press.
Yeah, I don't know. I totally reflect everything what DJ said, and I'm controlling so much with the language today, especially because
don't control Chins. Spalletti should hear this somewhere because he should hear Indian vocabulary because that's what he deserves.
Three points here. Point number one is when you start a tournament, of course you are slow starters. It happened. You played against Spain. You learned your lesson. You criticize Jorginho openly. Okay, fine. You time to bring on Fagioli on the pitch. You bring him on, and now of course you're going to throw him under the bus. Of course, it's expected that he's going to be thrown under the bus. Confidence is going to take a hit. You are tinkering so much. Back three, back four. You were so set on your back three before the tournament started. You
Yes,
went to back
yes.
four. Now yesterday's lineup was just completely out of blue. Don't blame Sharawi. Don't blame Cristante. You're just put in the tournament,
Yeah.
in a game which is a knockout, and you're putting these players on the pitch. There is something called continuity. You've won a league title with Napoli. You understand your starting 11 has to be the same for you to
Yeah.
grind out results. One, two players here and there, that's tactical changes is allowed. What was the team yesterday? And I've been saying it again and again. It's a good team. It's a mirror what
I think we lost Chintan Bhai.
DJ Bhai.
Ajay Bhai, if you okay. Yeah, sorry, I
Hello.
lost you
Yeah, sorry.
briefly. Briefly.
Yeah, I totally mirror DJ's opinion here.
Hmm.
Losing is a part of the game.
Hmm.
So I totally understand you lost the game, but it's just the
Hmm.
manner you lost. You are defending champions.
Hmm. Fair enough. Wait. But Ajay
You
Bhai,
you
I'll
can't
come to
lose like
you.
this.
Yeah.
You show some balls. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I get it. मतलब जैसे डीजे भाई ने बोला, the frustration is unreal. मतलब every Azzurri fan, even non Azzurri fan अजय भाई लोग देख के बोल रहे हैं ये क्या खेला क्या इटली ने. मतलब they are ना अभी इसके वजह से क्या हो रहा है, प्लेयर्स के बारे में परसेप्शंस गलत आ रहे हैं. बिकॉज श्योर नॉट ऑल दीस प्लेयर्स आर लाइक दिस, यू नो, दे आर रियली नॉट लाइक दिस. मतलब अभी काला फ्योरी इतना अच्छा टूर्नामेंट किया जस्ट बिकॉज ही वाज नॉट सडनली अवेलेबल. नाउ दीस गाइज हैड अ ट्रैश गेम. सेम विद प्लेयर्स लाइक यू नो बास्टोनी, बरेला, किएजा, सब मतलब सबकी इमेज खराब हो रही है. बट अजय भाई, कमिंग टू यू, just leaving the floor to you यार, क्या मतलब again what the hell did we see? uh, yeah.
देख यार, मेरे को I don't want to pinpoint any of the players and make them a scapegoat. One or two
Yeah.
players. I think the buck stops with Spalletti. Spalletti is answerable to all the decisions that he made. I think उसने अपने press conference में एक ही सही चीज बोला कि you know the blame lies with me. Apart from that, he did not make any sense.
हाँ.
He was at least, you know, I don't know अगर वो सच बोल रहे कि नहीं, because during his time at Roma, I've always seen him that he says something but ends up
हाँ, he
doing something.
contradicts. Same
Right?
Inter में भी same. Yeah.
You know, so he does that. But my point is कि यार, if you don't know your core players last 10 months, then I'm sorry, you have an issue. You don't know your best, you know, best defenders. You don't, you have no clue about who your starting midfielders are going to be when you're in a tournament, especially in a knockout game. I'm sorry. I mean, you have to take 100% responsibility. You just randomly throw El Sharawi, you know, play him as a wing back. Bring Sakanye on. I don't know what was he. How did he even manage to? Did he do his homework? I don't know.
Yeah.
इससे मैं Murad Yakin को I give him that credit because I
Yeah.
think the Swiss were very well prepared for the game. They
Yeah.
exploited Italy's weaknesses. And तो ए विशर का देख ले यार, the way that he
Yeah.
had a game, उसको उतना plaudits नहीं मिलेगा because Vargas scored the goal and Freuler scored the goal. But overall, I think the Swiss kind of played the way that Italy should have been playing and how
Yeah.
historically Italy has been playing as a
Yeah.
unit united. Again, as Dhananjay and Chintan both mentioned, we don't have the star names, but it doesn't matter because you know when it comes to the Azzurri, it's always been a united effort. That
Yeah.
was that from match one. I mean, if you had to sum up Italy's tournament in one kind of action, it has to be that one
Yeah.
pain fade against Albania, early
Ah.
throw in. I mean, that just summed Italy up and Spalletti up.
It's but Ajay,
Yeah.
my biggest point was over here is as you mentioned, 10 months in, you don't know your formation. Forget the starting 11. You don't know
Exactly.
formation.
Exactly.
I want to
understand.
Chintan, I want to come to that with DJ by just 1 minute. I'll just take a few comments because that's a very good question. I want to tie that in with something, if you don't mind. Ravindra says it's also pathetic how what Spalletti is doing. ये तो ले लिया. Magic Theory asks DJ भाई 1990 से आप सच्ची में support करोगे? Yes, I mean DJ भाई अगर आपको इस पर और कुछ बोलना है.
No, yeah, it's I started supporting them really, really young, and Italia '90 was when I started supporting Italy because of Baggio, and that passion is what led me to then supporting Juventus. So I became a big Juve fan right after that.
Madridista Rohit says Spalletti played Southgate football. Spalletti literally acts like a 10-year-old. The second he loses, ये बराबर है जैसे अजय भाई ने बोला ना, जब ब्लेम नहीं लेना रहता है दूसरों पे डाल देता है. उस दिन क्या हुआ ना, उस क्रोएशिया गेम के बाद ही आर्ग्यूड विद अ जर्नलिस्ट, एंड देन उस जर्नलिस्ट को रात को 2 बजे फोन करके, उसने मीडिया में आया था कि न्यूज की, 2 बजे फोन करके उसने अपोलोजाइज किया. लाइक ही इज वेरी चाइल्डिश इन दैट रिगार्ड. डीजे भाई, you look very young. How are you born in? How are you watching since 1990? Madridista Rohit, you took my name. I'm here. Formation was also
He's got a game to prepare here against Slovakia.
Yeah.
Why is he on the street?
formation was also not good. You keep playing KSI. Nothing was good, love coach. Nothing was good. I'm sorry. Southgate and Ronald Koeman are the worst coaches in these Euros, but I miss Spalletti. Deepu says, how Romano ne abhi dala. Italian Federation has decided to confirm Spalletti as the head coach. My mission will be to make this squad. I will come to this with Chintan bhai in the second part. My mission will be to make this squad even younger. I'm still trying to recover from the match, says Hatim. Politano was a big miss. हाँ, Politano ने एक funny post डाला Insta पे where he was pretty much mocking
That's
Spalletti.
stupid. That's stupid.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
stupid,
will
man.
do that.
That's just
I mean, that's
spicy.
just moment marketing, guys. I mean, that's just immaturity on Politano's part. I mean, the
Yeah,
whole
he
team is
is-
suffering, and you're
Yeah.
like going on an individual vendetta is not required.
Yeah, I agree with you. Deepu says Skamaka. हाँ, Skamaka पे touch करेंगे. He was horrible. मतलब कल उसकी body language was. सर्विस एक चीज होती है, but that body language was terrible from him. We will get to that. Nishan says 2026 World Cup is important for Italy and Serie A. Sandro Tonali says blood was flowing from my eyes after watching the game. They made 6 billion people angry in the world. Wow. As a neutral, defending champions is out in this manner. It's shocking. हाँ, मतलब last 3 tournament में actually there's a funny stat. The defending champions have been eliminated in the round of 16. So I'll come to DJ भाई. बाकी के comments बाद में लेते हो. Like Chintan said this, DJ भाई, he said, identity, the word. He said this team looked lost, but then Spalletti ने वही चिंतन भाई ने बोला कि पूरे टूर्नामेंट के पहले 3 at the back खेला. He had a set system. Italy was beating an informed team like Ecuador, playing well against such teams, and suddenly the tournament comes around and this guy switches fully. He doesn't ever go back to the back three. So what do you make of that? Like, what do you think is going on in his head with that?
I think that's exactly where, to me, it in many ways it was such a conundrum, because I feel Spalletti in this tournament, and I think Spalletti as an individual and as a coach, there's a very bad habit of overthinking, and it was really not as complicated as he made it. His team on paper, like we discussed, had a level of talent that was a starting point to take you somewhere with the vision map of 2026. Okay, it's ground zero. It's not the midfield that we had when we won the Euro, when the Azzurri won the Euro. But this was a starting point. You use that ground zero, and I think he overcomplicated matters. Then like you said, he tried to build off the Inter block, making deluded statements with due respect to Inter, but comparing them to the Juve block of 1982 with Gentile, Scirea, Dino Zoff. I mean, you're making that comparison. When it doesn't go your way, suddenly now Inter's not good enough, the Inter block. I mean, they won the Scudetto too quickly. I think he focused too much, A, on his individuals, and I think B, very importantly, he didn't have the comfort with the players. I think the players at his disposal were not enough of the players that he.
Yeah, I think we lost DJ bhai शायद से. Chintan bhai, do you want to take over?
There's actually loss of words. It's very surprising because, as DJ said, I've not been following since 1990 at least, but I think 2000 was the first time I saw Italy play, and we have seen me, Ajay, and DJ. We have definitely ranted our life through Ventura, and trust me, it wasn't this bad. At least when the players were donning that jersey, they gave their all, and there was some. What felt weird was there was no passion. There was just passionless, and that stems from somewhere, right? It has to stem from somewhere where players don't know their job, they don't know their role. And my only concern has always been here that so many changes in each and every game. Like only the Spain, I think Albania and Spain was the continuity, and then why are you making so many changes? Just I don't understand. And back three worked against Croatia, what to an extent, and Italy played well in the last 30 minutes against Croatia. Why tinker it against a team which is actually quite famous for kicking or beating big teams? I think they beat Switzerland also back in 2012.
France.
So, No. Right now, but 2012 was they beat with the World Cup. Sorry, they beat the first game. They beat Spain. And it is
Ah,
unbelievable, unbelievable that you. I don't know what was going on in your head. And as DJ said, that comfort with the players. You've had 10 months. My first question is, how is the system not set? Players आएंगे जाएंगे injuries है I know too bad he had too many injuries to deal with. You have a system आते हैं players लेता है. Okay, you carried a block. Inter Milan won a league title with back three. Go with that. Italy always have been successful when they've mirrored more or less a club team or gotten their most important players. We've seen that with Juventus defense over a while. So the players were there. Players were good enough to give this Switzerland a tough fight. Yeah, they could have lost eventually. And I think me and Deej were discussing while coming back yesterday in the car that Italy might lose, go to the penalty shootouts. Might lose somewhere there in extra time. But this is unacceptable. And your best player in the squad is Barella. He should be getting a role which he deserves. Barella should be coming out, and I'm sure Barella wants to play somewhere. And of course, his first statement was, "I'll give blood for the team." And I'm guessing as a player, you take up a role whatever the coach gives you because you want to give your best for the team. But कब तक किधर players and Jorginho को you threw him under the bus. You got Fagioli on, should have been brought on slowly, given him more confidence, kept him till the end. Put Fagioli, El Sharawi, Mancini, I understand because of Calafiori. All these players were there directly for a knockout game. Zakarni को क्यों अगर देना था तो Zakarni को chance क्यों नहीं दिया? He scored the winner. So
Yeah, exactly.
too much confusion, and the thing is, this Switzerland team is a good team, but more or less the players are at that stage where they are also bringing in young players. The old guards are going. Xhaka has had a fantastic season. So, but we made Xhaka also look like prime Pirlo over here yesterday, man. That Switzerland team looked like prime Spain team in 2010 and 2012. They were passing them. Look at the first goal. They walked in. How? I know Fagioli should have made that run behind.
हाँ, और I
Mancini
think
should have-
not just Fagioli. I mean, अगर आप देखो generally
Mancini.
defensive marking बड़ी off थी, but हाँ, he should have checked his shoulder. But वही चिंतन भाई, मैं don't mean to cut you.
Param, just if you just go, just take it below. Just look at Di Lorenzo and Bastoni here.
Yeah,
This is-
even that. Everything. वो
Ajay,
वही ना
this
अजय
all
भाई.
stems from one place only. That orders क्या मिलते हैं, system क्या set
हाँ,
होती है, उधर से ही सब
Again,
आता
I'm
है.
not blaming the players, but this is
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, fair enough.
Guys,
वही
this is a simple lack of continuity when you play back three and when you play back four.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That-
Exactly.
and you're playing every 2 days, right? You don't know only what position because there's no understanding with the people around you.
वही and DJ भाई वही हम लोग बोले थे ना, suddenly this guy he decides Barella has to become a regista. I'm like, that's what we were discussing. Keen, what the hell are you doing by limiting one of your best players who's literally going to run up and down the pitch and create something for you? It was just baffling. But I just want to show you guys one more thing before we get into it. I'll just pull this up because I think this pretty much reflects what Italy did. You just it should pop up. Yeah, look at this momentum chart, man. Look at, like, the XG pretty much shows you look at where Italy was before, during the 1-0 the first half. It should pop up, and look at the second half. Just terrible. The yellow line is Italy, by the way. Just awful. Anyway, Ajay, do you want to say something before I move to DJ? मतलब क्या इस मतलब what can you say about this?
I think the players got sold out because of disparity. As simple as that. Just to echo what Chintan and Dhananjay and even you were saying, there is no system. How are the goals good? No one knows what they're doing. So ये chart looks pretty much sums up the entire tale of the game.
DJ भाई, like I want to थोड़ा come to the players. ठीक है, we will, I think primarily हम सब agree करते हैं कि coach is at fault after the FA obviously. सबसे ऊपर तो FIGC आती है, but
Gravina is culpable as Spalletti is, if not
Yeah.
more. This
Yeah.
decision to reassign Spalletti the job is fine, but I think it has to be reviewed in the first phase of World Cup qualifying.
Yeah.
It'll be an absolute disaster if Italy doesn't qualify for the 2026 World Cup.
With the number of teams, increased number of teams.
With the increased number of teams. I mean, really, we're looking at the abyss if that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, how are we relevant? Because there was this one, it almost makes the Euro 2021 victory look like a fluke.
It's like Greece.
Yeah, I'll take a few comments, then I'll come to you guys again. The 17 people here, BB chat में, thank you for joining us. Please subscribe here. We are at 549 subscribers. The goal is to reach 600. तो अगर आपने अब तक नहीं किया तो please कर दो. I'll just come to comments very quickly. Yeah, I think this is where I stopped. He says, yeah, Hatim says the defense was terrible. The defending champion should not go out in this manner, says Rahul Singh. Losing to Switzerland is not an upset, but the way they were playing is shambolic. Mancini and Bastoni not the same performance. वो यार, but जैसे डीजे भाई ने just बोला ना कि इतना बदलते रहोगे कौन अच्छा perform करेगा, right? There needs to be some sense of assurance. Defense was so bad that you can't even call that an Italian defense. True, Italian defense was the best in the world of all time, but yesterday, sorry bro, yeah, nahi, we agree. There was no defenses. Hatim and Arnab asks, is it correct to continue with Spalletti? Maybe look at a non-Italian coach. Does anyone want to answer this very quickly?
It's not a bad idea given the Italian options that there are. I mean, De Zerbi would have been an interesting fit, but he's got other ambitions, obviously, still at club level. I think what are our Italian options? There's Allegri and there's Pioli. You know,
Sarri, Maurizio Sarri,
and Maurizio Sarri. But I mean, that said, Allegri ball, Sarri ball, Pioli ball is still a level above what we've seen of Spalletti. This is invisible, you know, because there is no ball only as far as the Italians are concerned.
I would take Allegri ball right now, man.
Yeah.
Like
Allegri
at
is
The
really
knockout coach.
coming more from a mentality of just the past as a winner. Spalletti kind of did the same. It's just obviously Allegri's won more than him and been in more high pressure situations. But the thing is, we need somebody who will blend youth in and create a kind of philosophy for the side to build on. You know, very similar to what the Spanish are doing. वो philosophy नहीं है. Right now, it's
I
just
will
like
come to that.
it's an individual coach and it's an individual set of players. Is Spalletti the guy for the job? Really, I don't think he has many months left on this job. At best, I only see him Group 1, Phase 1 of qualifying. That's the only amount of time he should be given before the job is reviewed again.
Fair enough. I'll just take a few more comments. Ravindra says the whole of Italy is taking the burden of this defeat. Going out fighting would have been something, but we played like a country that doesn't take football seriously. We are getting cooked on it. It's deserved also. अब क्या बोलोगे आप? Piyush Singh says, to be honest, there were very few top coaches who don't like this. Even Pep, Jose and Klopp and modern coaches like Arteta. But that's the thing, right? They have something to talk about in their CV. Spalletti, it's not like he doesn't have anything. But वो ऐसे जो बड़ा चढ़ा के बात करता है ना, as if he's the best coach in the world, as if there's nothing apart from his philosophy. If there is nothing apart from his philosophy, it's bad because he never has a plan B. मुझे याद है इंटर पे एक इंस्टेंस में बहुत quickly देता हूँ. There was a time when Icardi used to bench Lautaro Martinez when Lautaro was just new to the club. And just because Inter was losing games left, right, center in the 18-19 season, उसको लगा चलो मैं 3 at the back पे shift करता हूँ, and he paired Lautaro and Icardi together just randomly out of nowhere. And I'm like, Icardi does not know how to play football outside the box. Like, it was so random. So he really never has a plan B. Ravindra says also, I don't think the Italian FA is going to fire Spalletti. Confirm ho gaya na? You just got the news ki the only
he
thing
wants to make the squad younger. He said.
Younger.
पता नहीं कैसे Benjamin buttoning them.
हाँ, sorry चिंतन भाई.
Benjamin buttoning them. Get younger. What the hell?
एक फ्रैंचाइज को कमांडर को कॉल अप करके एवरेज एज को वो कम करेगा और कुछ.
हाँ, उसकी कॉन्फिडेंस की भी उड़ा देगा वो. मैं बोल लिख के ले लो. He's not getting it. Average age तो कम करना है जैसे डीजे भाई ने बोला, but that's not the main issue here. There's a tactical issue which he just doesn't get. Like जैसे डीजे भाई बोला, it should be on the screen. डीजे भाई बोले, I'll just take the comments until then. Possession means nothing when you lose 2-0, obviously. That was arguably the worst display I've seen from a team in a very long time. I've never been one to blame the manager, but there's no hiding it. Spalletti is the problem. How can you be this clueless? True. Spalletti made a mistake changing to back 4 in the tournament despite sticking exactly back 3 before the tournament. 4 versus 7.
Can you sit? I'm giving you something to watch now, please.
In transition, no formation, says Hatim. Italy made Swiss side look like 2010 Spain. बाकी के comments ले लेंगे अजय भाई, but DJ भाई, I'll come to you first, then I'll go to Ajay भाई. Do you agree with this sentiment? I know maybe being an Italy fan from this account, it could be an extreme reaction, but you know, look what he says. Yes, players like Musiala, Mbappe, to name a few, Lamine Yamal will never be produced in Italy. And we discussed this the other day, DJ, because in Italy, young players will be thrown into the depths of Serie B or Serie C until they're 24, 25, and for them that is young, and that's why they get stuck, right? What do you make of this?
Well, there is some truth in the statement, but I wouldn't entirely agree with it because I feel like the climate of football in Italy is changing largely because of the fact that the league is so cash strapped that even the
Yeah.
giants of the league, the big three, they're not able to compete on the European level with players of high market value. So what they have to do is either produce it within the club system or start like dealing with the youth to kind of bring them in. You know, it allows a better wage cap internally with regard to the club, and then you also get a little bit of loyalty from those players because you know as their market value rises, they may still want to stay with you and will not shift. You know, Italians are quite loyal like that. So I don't entirely agree that they will not be able to produce. Mbappe for me is a generational player. I mean, most countries will not be able to produce an Mbappe, but the likes of
Yeah.
Yamal, culturally, I think Italy is also. What worries me is now it has been so long since you've had like a world class number 9 that
Yeah.
it's just showing how the game is changing actually the world over. But specifically for Italy, it's been much longer than one would expect. You know.
Yeah.
I that is a little bit of a worrying precedent. But I think as far as the midfield goes, you're still going to have. We've just it's been the last couple of years. We had a world class midfield with the likes of Jorginho, Barella, and Verratti. You know, with the emergence of Fagioli, I think the midfield will be in safe hands. Fagioli, we still have Barella to go for some time. By the time the next generation breaks through, let's not
Yeah.
forget this team is winning at the junior levels. It's
Yeah.
just about transitioning those youngsters correctly, blooding them with the right opportunity. But I'm
Yeah.
not sure if Spalletti is the guy to do that, or we need to kind of
Yeah.
go with a coach with new, fresh, young ideas, which I'm open to. Yeah, it can be a coach from outside of Italy. I'm not sure how much the board will want to do it, but Gravina, if you're hearing this and listening to this, my friend, you have blood on your hands for the way
Yeah.
the FIGC is handling your Nazionale.
I would say DJ by anyone, if anyone from the FIGC is listening to this by any
Anyone.
chance, all of you obviously have sabotaged the national team. But Ajay, I'll come to you and go to Chintan bhai. Then yaar ye आप record देख लो Ajay bhai. 14 matches, 7 wins, 4 draws, 3 defeats. I know 3 defeats looks very less, but the manner, जैसे Chintan bhai बोले थे, the manner in which those at least the latest defeat came, terrible. And the last question here you see in this tweet, where does the Azzurri go from here for you, Ajay bhai? Like आपके लिए क्या change चाहिए right off the bat कि ये एक आइडेंटिटी अभी से मिले? बिकॉज चिंतन महीने बराबर बोला 10 महीने हो गए, मैचेस कम लगते हैं वो, बट 10 महीने यू हैव टू इंक्लूड ट्रेनिंग, एंड वी नो दैट इटालियंस हैव सम ऑफ द बेस्ट ट्रेनिंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, ये वो सिस्टम्स वाइज टैक्टिकल एस्पेक्ट से. So Spalletti being Spalletti, where does this Azzurri go from here, and how quickly do they need to find an identity now?
Quickly as of now, because the World Cup is just 2 years away, and not qualifying for it is, I mean, third consecutive World Cup अगर आप miss करोगे, it's nothing, it's disastrous. It's end of the world for a federation like the Italian federation. So right off the bat, मेरे हिसाब से Spalletti needs to find his best formation, his best system, and then eventually bring in those players that would fit it. I mean, qualifiers are coming up. You have some games to experiment, but reduce these experiments, man. I mean, you can't freaking experiment in a tournament like this. So these couple of things, because Spalletti is confirmed, right? I mean, he's going to be there until the cup. So he needs to get these 2-3 things, right away. He needs to fix it, because otherwise it'll be too late. And given the nature of his personality, given how stubborn he is, he needs to let go of that and just focus on the larger picture.
Fair enough. But Chintan bhai, ये अगर आपको दिख रहा है स्क्रीन पे, ये this is the play right when the second half began. Yeah, look at this. एक पास स्ट्रिंग नहीं हो रहा है इनसे. मतलब हम लोग, जैसे मैं बोला थोड़ी देर पहले चिंतन में, हम लोग ने कोच इसको ब्लेम कर दिया. I don't, जैसे अजय भाई ने बोला, I don't really want to pinpoint on players, but what about the players, Chintan bhai, for you? What do you think needs to...
Param, you need to get rid of this video. I got a copyright strike for a 3-second
okay.
So,
okay. Yeah, it's Twitter, so I don't think it really should be a problem per se, but because I've used it in the past. But anyways,
I was just going to say 95% probably might be on Spalletti, but what DJ said when he just walked in and he said one line: these players don't have balls. Of course I understand formation nahi hai, ye nahi hai, but there's something should be burning inside you, right? When your team is losing, a player to
Correct,
look
correct,
up to, that is one thing is there. However great Barella is, he's not a natural leader, that is there. So there isn't a single player on this pitch who will say, all right, let's do this, let's get the game back on. uh, that is where we miss the likes of the Chiellinis and the Banuccis, especially the someone like a Chiellini over here. However great, however good Donnarumma has been for us, I don't think he commands that kind of a thing over here. So I know Spalletti is at fault, but yeah, these bunch of players also need to like buckle up. Okay, it is last, of course, against the odds, यूरो जीत गए थे, तो it some players को भी लगा होगा कि ये टाइम भी कुछ कर लेंगे, but करना पड़ता है. You have to do something on the pitch for that. And what small clip we saw Param over there is, कल मैच सबने देखा था. Now tell me one thing, Ajay, Param, and DJ, did you see a single player on the pitch who looked like, oh, I'm going to drag this team forward? जो Chiesa ने last time किया था, Chiesa looked a little lost actually. He was overdoing it. I think वो ज़्यादा
No,
commit कर रहा था. एक
yeah,
भी प्लेयर नहीं था. Barella subbed off 55th minute. My God, like what? Why was he subbed off? I'll play him even if he's playing on one leg. Play him on the pitch. There might be a pass which comes out of nowhere. And don't tell me from a Croatia game to this game, because of one Calafiori, Italian team just got 10 folds weaker. I
yeah,
do not believe that. So there's so many things wrong, as Ajay said and as DJ said. What we were talking, it's not just one thing. Squad अच्छा है. वैसे तो this squad might not be as bad as many teams over here.
yeah,
Look at how
yeah,
Georgia are playing. Amazing
yeah,
football.
yeah,
Amazing, yeah. Slovene, जो Belgium का group था, all four teams barring Ukraine's first game, you see all the other games were so entertaining to watch. They're playing so well. Does that mean the squad is not good enough? No, the players are playing with a certain formation. They came in with certain set ideas. जैसे अजय बोला, आइडिया ही अगर नहीं है, अगर बरेला को रजिस्टर खिलाओगे, तो how will you make those runs? And Param, you are used to seeing him making those runs in the box. वो
yeah,
करेगा कैसे अगर वो है ही
yeah,
नहीं? इंटर के पास उसको पीछे हकान है. That's why he does that.
yeah,
तो फैजोली को खिलाओ ना, डीजे. आई एम pretty sure Fajoli is pretty used to playing that role behind. So why
yeah,
was it small tweak interchange that?
mm,
55th minute, DJ, he subbed Barella off. A one-legged Barella can still get you something. How was Barella subbed off? Even if he's having a stinker, you don't sub your best player off, man. It's unbelievable. I can't even form certain things. मेरे को, there's so many things words में नहीं आ रहे हैं, that so many things are wrong. One eye on 2026. I'm tired of that statement. अबे कौन सा eye रख रहे हो तुम 26 पे भाई? Look what you're playing today. There has to be certain structure. I understand.
No, exactly. वो ground zero ही नहीं है. Like, what is the 2026 vision map? There is nothing.
DJ who, okay, injuries कौन missing है भाई? I know probably the Acerbi is the only one who would walked into the
yeah,
starting
lead,
11.
yeah,
Otherwise कौन है? Zaniolo probably he would have been a good sub, but otherwise
yeah,
Santo Tonali wouldn't have
Yes,
started.
Zaniolo not a starter, yeah, with his knees and
Zaniolo
all. He
not a,
can impact some
exactly.
at best.
Zaniolo is not a starter.
Yeah,
Tonali
yeah.
wouldn't have been a starter. Scalvini wouldn't have been a starter. तो क्या है? Acerbi is missing. I understand Acerbi, Bastoni might have been great, but we got Calafiori actually
yeah.
without Acerbi. वरना Calafiori भी
See,
नहीं आता शायद.
yeah,
In
but I'll just
hindsight, guys, though I do feel, when we look back to the preview of who all he left behind, I feel
yeah,
like this team could have done with the likes of Orsolini and
yeah, yeah,
Locatelli.
Yeah.
for sure.
In hindsight,
Locatelli,
when you look
please.
back, Locatelli's presence in midfield would, I think, have definitely helped.
DJ, I
You
said
know?
it. You cannot. Doesn't matter. However stinker he had, he has that experience. He's lifted the
Mm,
Yeah,
cup. He's played
yeah,
with Barella on the pitch on an international level. How can you
yeah,
drop him? It's
mm,
it's
yeah,
yeah,
even if you don't want to play him, has to be in the squad. Who are
yeah,
we
yeah,
getting on when your team is down?
yeah.
yeah,
It's unbelievable how biased sometimes he can get. As Ajay
yeah.
said, how stubborn
And
he can get.
Chintan bhai, to that point, he went on to say Di Lorenzo is his boy after the first game, and he kept defending Di Lorenzo despite, see, Di Lorenzo was pretty much atrocious in all three games, barring the first one. He was all right, nothing spectacular, right? And despite that, Di Lorenzo kept starting. You could have probably changed that. That's just Spalletti, as you said, stubborn. By the way, I just want to give a shout out to Uncle Sharma, Ajay bhai. You know him. He's in the chat. He's a inter content creator. Yeah, he has over 8,000 subs on YouTube. So nice to have you. He says Gravina just said Spalletti is confirmed. Yeah, man. Probably not, most of us weren't expecting to hear it that soon, but I think it was coming. But thank you for joining in on the chat. We appreciate it. If you want to check out his channel, again, he does Inter and Azzurri related videos. So you
But
can
Param,
check it.
actually, before we go ahead, I want to ask you, yeah, because you are from probably an unbiased opinion over here, and I'm pretty sure as a biased Azzurri fan, thoda, it was disappointing for you. But like, were you just out of your inter players playing out of position and this and that?
Yeah, yeah,
इधर कुछ disappointment लगा somewhere like कोई up to the mark है जैसे if you have seen certain players I think
yeah,
Bastoni is a great defender but I expected him to be a better leader because Donnarumma isn't a leader. So defense में अगर एक leader नहीं होता है, which Italy has always been blessed with, Ajay and DJ know that. So
yeah.
किधर है after the number of forget just the inter players or more or less the inter players, were you kind of disappointed and not up to the mark? Anyone in particular or someone?
This is tough. I think I don't know if I was the most. I was very disappointed in Bastoni. I think he did a fine job. Sure, he can be a better leader, but I think as the years go by, वो solidify होगा चिंतन. I know again we go back to the point कि कब वो 2026 वाला point और future का point सुन के everybody is bored. I get it, but we still need to realize कि these guys are still, especially the likes of Bastoni, are still थोड़ा on the younger side, and I think he will become more of that leader later on. Not yet, but yeah. Thoda, I was expecting more from him on the leadership front, maybe, but I think he was fine. I was very disappointed in mainly being Fratesi because, look, again, I know his limitations, but I still feel he needs to polish his game sooner. However, it is whether whether you learn, you need to soak it in from the players around you. Matlab, I know he's this machine on the pitch and whatever, but still he could have done so many things but better in the first two games, especially the Spain wala game. Yeah, matlab, he is one player you look at, who can burst out of a press, and I didn't see that happening. So I was disappointed in Fratesi, to be fair. Again, Barella, I was not really disappointed, I'll be honest with you, only because he was being played mainly out of position. अगर वो पोजीशन में खेल के if he would have been bad, then I would have called it out for sure. Darmian, I don't know how to judge because वो ज्यादा खेला नहीं, and I feel again जैसे DJ भाई ने बोला, if you tweak so much in your backline, anybody is bound to make a mistake. Even a veteran will make a mistake. So sure, he could have done better on the goal against Croatia, fair enough, but then again you can also say Di Lorenzo was horribly out of position on that goal. So there are everyone has a share of blame. It's not just UA players or Inter players
Yeah,
or
no chance. I think मेरे लिए तो I think I had a lot of expectations on Dimarco. I think
हाँ,
but I think as you said,
he
carrying
has
an
been
injury.
disappointing. I agree with you. He has been disappointing. I think वो उसको तुम left back नहीं, sorry, you can't play him as a left back, but again, yeah, he didn't show up very well. His I don't know what it was. One thing about Bastoni and Dimarco I'll tell you is that physically in the Inter fan base, if Uncle Sharma is still here in the chat, we make these jokes कि ये दोनों ना, they're not that good fitness wise. Like they play one 90-minute game and it's like they've climbed Mount Everest. That's bad. That's how average their fitness level is. So I feel maybe Dimarco ke liye fitness played a role, and also Chindan, we have to remember he played an injured Dimarco against Spain. Like I never understood what that. Dimarco didn't feature yesterday because he had a calf injury. That happened because he was injured against Spain, and Spalletti fielded an injured Dimarco. So again, all this, it's all an amalgamation. Again, I'm not saying that Inter players are not to blame. There is a share of blame, but I think
Yeah,
it
but
all
you
starts
can't
with the top, as you
can't
said
be
earlier.
club wise. Can't be. I'm
No,
reading a
it's
lot
not a
of
club
flack
wise
on.
demarcation, Param.
Yeah,
It's
But
it's a
DJ,
systemic failure. I mean, that is so obvious.
DJ,
You know,
I'm surprised at the slack El Sharawi is getting. Come on, guys, he's been
yeah,
thrown into the mix.
ridiculous.
yeah.
Random मतलब random game में तुमने सीधा starter बना दिया यार. How are you expecting that guy? Ridiculous stuff. Ridiculous stuff.
Yeah,
Played
yeah.
him at wing back also. Played him
Yeah,
at wing
yeah.
back.
Yeah, I'll just take a few comments and then we'll close this with one last aspect of discussion. कहाँ गया ये? Is it correct? हाँ, ये तो ये ले लिया था, sorry. हाँ, at least he plays a 4-1-4-1. भाई यार, मतलब क्या बोलूं? We need the solid identity यार हातिम. वो सब बाद में देख लेंगे. Gus Fring says, what do you think? How far will Italy go in the 2026? अरे यार, वो सब तो टाइम है, पहले क्वालिफाई हो जाए. If an extended format में they don't qualify, जैसे डीजे भाई ने बोला ना, it's shambolic. It's an utter embarrassment. Magic Theory says Ancelotti should become Italian coach. Again, why not? Why not? There will be times. Also have to remember there will be club coaches who will be as options. Matlab, you can manage a club and the national team simultaneously. So you never know. It's the top that needs to use their brains. If Spalletti eventually is let go, obviously he's not leaving now. Ravindra Prasad says Sari is not a national team coach. His way of playing is too intricate to employ in the national team. They don't spend a lot of time together. Allegri, though, is the perfect. I agree with you on Sari. Also, Sari needs a specific bunch of players which he might not get in the national team. You're right with that. Magic Tiwari says, sorry guys for different topic, but Lautaro, yeah, good to point it out. He's scoring for fun indeed. Magic Tiwari, which DJ bhai nullifies Spalletti's excuse because उसने जो बोला ना, Inter players were on holiday for too long, but then you have a guy scoring for fun in the Copa America, funnily enough. Football's expert says seems like Chiesa had problems with other players around him, so he wanted to prove he could do something. Like problem है, I don't think I will read into it. You have to remember कि Chiesa मतलब उसकी injuries की वजह से उसका career has not been the same, and उस पे भी pressure आएगा ना यार. मतलब
I think
बोलो
it I think Param, it more like he wanted to prove something, and I think he was trying
Yeah.
too hard. I think वही problem
Yeah.
है. He wanted to win
Yeah.
so badly because he did that in the last Euros. So he
Yeah.
thought he was overdoing a little bit. I guess वो था. I don't think there was any problems.
Yeah, I agree with you. Deepu asks if DJ Bhai wants to answer this, or Ajay Bhai, anyone. What changes would you make for 2026, especially in midfield and attack? Any young player ready to step up? Very briefly, if Ajay or DJ Bhai wants to answer this.
Beach, go for it.
It's too soon, guys. That's the thing. Na? It's also it's the way the clubs develop the players over this coming season. I think that's going to be very important. And that's across the board. And it applies to the big three. I don't personally. If Spalletti remains, I don't see too many changes in terms of personnel. There's going to be a couple of tweaks here and there. He's going to just build with this block that he has and kind of just start to imprint a little bit of a continuity in terms of formation. The kind of players coming through, I don't see any like 4 or 5 starting lineup breakthroughs as far as I'm concerned. It's just going to come down to how we develop players at a club level, and then who makes the cut, at the back end in the next season and a half.
Yeah. Ravindra says, Ajay, thank God India won the World Cup yesterday, वरना पूरा दिन खराब हो जाता. It looked like Miller was going to take it. Ajay भाई ये आप पे और चिंतन भाई पे छोड़ दो, obviously, because Ajay, चिंतन भाई, yeah. Anyone wants to reply to this, Ajay bhai?
I think Chintan is. You can see from his expression, he's heartbroken.
But yeah,
I think context bata do. I think so, guys. I support cricket South Africa, so it was a bad day for me. So not a good day for me.
Yeah, Nishant Sharma
Anyways,
says,
guys, boys, I need to bounce now. So
okay.
I'm heading. Bye Ajay, bye Deej, bye Param.
Bye,
It was
Bye, Chintan.
probably
Have a
the
good one.
most depressing thing we have done. But yeah, chalo, ciao boys.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Ciao.
Better
See you soon.
Ciao.
We have Nishant says defender like Maldini or Nesta can easily. हाँ यार वो ज़माना अलग था. Alessandro Bajoli, by the way, DJ, I don't know if you've noticed. So our stream, one of our watch-alongs was searched in Turin, funnily enough. And Alessandro, when he popped up, we didn't know which club he supported. So we were all like, hoping he's a Torino fan, and that's what he turned out to be. So nice to see, first of all, that our stream is actually reaching, Turin. Thank God, the algorithm is favoring us so far. But yeah, he says we were so bad. Football expert says Allegri will not win us the World Cup, but at least bring respect back which we lost. If we reach the quarters, that will heal the wounds. Yeah. I can see Allegri doing a better job, at least man management wise. They want Chiesa to do everything. You can't, since your power is the defense and midfield. Uncle Sharma ka le liya tha. Deepu Sure says Italy needs Kamada to break in Milan squad as soon as possible and break through. But yeah, he's young. How fast? First he needs to make it to that under 23 team which Milan have just made. So it's a long process. So let's wait and see. Deepu, the problem is if you push youngsters too hard also, they can get lost in the shuffle. It's important for AC Milan to find that balance and play him properly, which they are so far. I hope they don't overdo it because he needs to have that balance. Hatim says, Mess, it's not a football formation. Sax Paletti says Alessandro Baggioli. Gus Fring says they want Chiesa to do everything pretty much, be Messi. They are pressure to sab pe yaar. Ravindra says we have lost so much experience since the last Euros. No Chiellini, Bonucci, Verratti, or even Immobile. Scamacca is still young and doesn't have the CV that Immobile had. No Insigne, no leaders. Fair enough. On that note, I'll take the rest of the comments later, guys. Uncle Sharma, just एक Ajay भाई आपके लिए condolences to Ajay that he has to watch Cristante every week. But all jokes aside, yaar, I want to ask you guys this on a closing note. Before I go back to the comments, like we talk about, this this youth talent learning properly, right? DJ by and Ajay by, like in Italy, this notion is that if they introduce, or they the growth decree and stuff like that, if they make it heavier, the notion is that more local players will get the chance, so they'll get better. But at the same time, these local players, DJ Bhai and Ajay Bhai, they only get better when they're playing alongside or against foreign players, right? If you bring in on these players with your growth decree and everything, which they have limited now, which means getting foreign players is expensive. How are these Italian players going to get any better if you're just limiting the quality of players that is coming in? First, I'll get DJ Bhai's thoughts and then Ajay Bhai's thoughts on this.
Sorry, bringing in the players on a club level, is that what you're saying?
So what they did, the growth decree जो थी, उस पे वो लोग ने obviously उसको हटवा दिया, right? तो उसको हटाने से obviously getting these foreigners is much more difficult. The idea behind that is Italians will get to play more, but they'll be playing against players or with players of their same level. Don't you need this foreign competition or teammates to improve them?
No, absolutely, yeah. Param, look at it, right? Look at the previous generations of Italians. How have they developed? I mean, how did, let's say, a Del Piero become, up his game? Because he was playing with the likes of Zinedine Zidane around him. He had Didier Deschamps around him. How did Conte become the midfielder that he did? How did Chiellini become an inspiring leader? How did Cannavaro become an inspiring leader? He had a Thuram next to him, So the point is that as far as competition goes, I think the way that the Serie A is moving, the first thing that they have to do, which is and this is going to happen at a club level, it has to. Otherwise, Italian football is just going to go into the abyss in a way that, like, we won't even know how to bring it back. Foreign money, Arab money, nothing will bring it back from the abyss. So it has to happen consciously at a club level, where all of the teams have to start bringing in, like how you may have a next gen. So teams have to start doing that. They have to kind of build in that club culture, that on a youth system. Those youth have to kind of come in at a club level, and we have to have that mandate. And that mandate is very well complemented with leaders coming in from neighboring countries. So like a Rabiot in a UA setup, he may not be a leader, but he's a great influence in terms of the player playing next to him to up his game.
Yeah.
And I think that is how, as far as Italy is concerned, that is the need of the hour. But if you take all of that away, Param, for a second, just, since you brought that up, look at the French league.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the talent that they produce, and those are we're talking of the likes of across Marseille, Nice, anywhere. And they're not even playing with players of international caliber. Look at the talent that they're producing. Why? It's because the youth are getting a chance to play week in and week out.
Yeah.
I mean, how does Italy not get the memo? It's just, it's almost like Juventus in the Champions League. You want to do everything. You change your crest, all you want. You build this world-class fucking Allianz Stadium, and then you don't know what to do when it comes to European football, sideways and backwards. Football has changed. The game has changed. I mean, there has to be cognizance at that level to understand, and it is a youth-based game. There is no longer the artistry of a 35-year-old Pirlo who has all the time in the world. He doesn't. You're going to get pressed out of the park. That is why there's the balance of power doesn't remain only. Every team is equal. In this Euro, if you look at the two brackets, Austria can win the title. It's the basically understanding. It's a system-based approach. The star system is gone. There are no longer any stars that are going to bring your team home. You've got to play a system. You have to have a philosophy. Most importantly, you have to have a value system. You have to have an identity. And Absolutely. That is when you give youth continuity, that's how you build an identity. That's how you build a philosophy. That's how you build a system.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, like on that note, the only thing is, as you can may feel that my blood pressure is curdling. But
no, it's justified.
I see. I mean, the only thing really I have to look forward to is the fact that Juventus, for the first time in a very long time, they've got a guy like Thiago Motta. They put their balls out to dry and say, okay, we're going to do something we've never done before.
Yeah.
Build a team with an identity, a pressing system, play modern football. That's where the game is at.
Yeah. But DJ bhai, I mean, आपने तो सब points अच्छे किए. I guess you're in a rush, so if you want to take our leave, because थोड़े comments लेके we'll close this. I know you're in a rush, but thank you for sharing your thoughts. Very passionate as we expect from you, and it's justified. Even if you would have, cursed, more than justified before I go to Ajay bhai.
In fact,
But thank you.
in fact,
Yeah, I
before you
want to
leave,
keep.
DJ,
In the interest of us getting the right kind of following,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want kids and women to follow this channel. So it's important to try and keep the language as clean as
Yeah, yeah.
possible. But
just,
yeah,
just before you leave, DJ, Milan's youth team were the first Italian team to reach the UEFA Youth League
Yes.
final. You
Yes.
know, and they lost to Olympiacos. But
Yeah.
my point is that is how far behind
Yeah. Yeah, I think Ajay bhai
Primavera
was.
football is. I mean, with due respect, you have Atalanta who have a good academy. Roma produce some good players. Good players in Inter, Juve as well. Milan now in the mix, but again, nothing comes out of it. I mean, we discussed this yesterday, right? How Italy have won the under 17, under 19, under 20, under 20 finalists for
Yeah.
third place. You know, but
Yeah.
after that, there is nothing. I mean, nothing happens.
all these players are just disappearing. Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
you wonder, right? Like, where are they
Yeah.
going? And
Yeah.
that's where
Best
the
example-
talks with the clubs. I mean, it's about time the Italians wake up. I mean, when was the last time we won the Champions League? I don't care
Yeah.
who wins it. Somebody from Italy
Yeah.
has to win it. How you
Yeah.
will be
Yeah, yeah.
relevant to the nation? It's I can't tell you how happy I was with what Atlanta pulled off. I
Yeah.
mean, kudos.
Exactly. I mean, if you had to, pull one player's journey, look at Scamacca.
Yeah.
He rose. Initially, he was with the Lazio youth, then the Roma Primavera. He went to the Netherlands, came back, went to England, then came back. I mean, that's not an ideal pathway. I mean, it just
Yeah.
sums up the youth
It's
football.
not, and unfortunately, Ajay, half of the decisions perhaps are not even on him. That's the
Yeah,
sad.
exactly.
Yeah.
They've just made a journeyman around him. But
Yeah.
it's about time. Like, there is cognizance, and that's why I feel like today's anger really it starts with Gravina.
Gravina, yeah,
And the
it's always at
FIGC.
the top. It's always at the
You're
top.
more interested in creating controversies on a club level, but you don't know how badly that's affecting you on a national level.
Yeah.
But DJ bhai, I know you're in a rush, so thank you for your rant. I mean, it all makes sense. It's not it's like you're not ranting just for the sake of it. It all made sense, and it's about time. Like, we all think the same thing. When will these guys wake up? Because it's another disappointing tournament, and honestly, if these guys don't make it to the next World Cup, it's a hopeless cause.
It's over.
But thank you, DJ bhai, for joining us. We'll just take the last few comments and close this. Ciao,
Thanks,
DJ bhai.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks. Bye.
अजय भाई, I'll come to you because I asked him. मैंने डीजे भाई को यही पूछा. Comments पे आते हैं भाई लोग. Just be patient. By the way, 20 people still with us. Thank you for joining in. We appreciate that you have joined in for the stream and you're watching this rant, right, Ajay bhai? And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe कर दो. 552 subscribers. We just crossed 550, so thank you for that. The goal is 600 ultimately. So please 600 तक पहुंचा दो. I will plug in Ajay bhai's channel in a bit. But Ajay bhai, I'll ask you the same question. With that growth decree, that whole nonsense, I mean, don't you need to really play with these quality players? And Anand brought up a good point, which I will pull up later, Anand, if you're still here. But you really need to play with a certain level of players to improve, right? That's why Ajay bhai, before I ask you, that's why do these under 23 teams want to play in the Serie C? Because there is a certain element of physicality, certain traits that these guys develop by playing against veterans, right? So what's your take on that?
I think it's a bit too late. It's not the वो क्या बोलता है ना कि not the end of the world yet, but we're very late in the cycle. Because अगर आप देखोगे, you have France, who have a factory up and running. Germany, look at Florian Wirtz. He is playing Champions League football at age 21, and he broke into the team when he was 17, 18. I don't know, at that age, and now he's starting for Germany. That is not there with Italy, sadly. I always you look at Chiesa, he's 26, Pellegrini is 26. They're not young players anymore.
Yeah.
So I think it's a bit too late to kind of mix it up with the likes of Spain, Germany, France, England. अगर यूरोप की मैं बात करूँ, the four, even the Dutch for that matter, they also produce some decent players. But if suppose for whatever reason, I don't think the groups are out yet for the World Cup qualifiers. But
time.
I can totally see like another, North Macedonia, Sweden debacle loading. It's a very, very harsh and possible reality. And if Spalletti or whoever is there, I mean, from top to bottom, the federation, if they don't pull up their socks, Italy as a traditional powerhouse is finished, completely
Yeah.
finished. I mean, we will be in the doldrums. It will be, probably like, how, just want to, put a perspective like how Hungary was a talent of world football, during the
Yes. Yes.
Pushkash and, that era, or even the USSR for that matter.
हाँ.
मैं थोड़ा history lesson में जा रहा हूँ, but how they kind of went out of relevance, the
हाँ.
same fate can fall upon Italy as well.
I agree with you. थोड़े comments ले लेते हैं अजय भाई, and then we'll shortly close this. But very
Yeah.
good sentiments आपने और डीजे भाई ने share किए. It makes you think, as fans हम ये सब सोचते हैं, and people running football in that country can't. And obviously a lot of them know about this, but obviously there are different politics also behind this, which unfortunately take priority, or football मार खा जाता है as a sport. I will come to comments. हाँ, इधर रुके थे हम लोग. Did you see Retegi in midfield? Hatim says Pellegrini next, Calafiori. देख यार, अभी टैक्टिक्स से बढ़कर है हातिम. मतलब टैक्टिक्स पे वी आर स्टिल नॉट, वी हैव बी पास टैक्टिक्स एट दिस पॉइंट, राइट अजय भाई? मतलब ठीक है, स्पेलिटी पे तो ब्लेम जो कर लिया, पर ऊपर से सब, जैसे हम लोग, मैं और अजय भाई ना स्ट्रीम के पहले वही बोल रहे थे, 70% आप FIGC पे डालो और 30% स्पेलिटी पे डालो, और 30% आल्सो इज अ ह्यूज चंक, राइट? प्लेयर्स पे ठीक है, दैट्स 100 ऑब्वियसली. उधर बीच में स्पेलिटी का मे भी कुछ 0.05 काट के आप प्लेयर्स पे डाल सकते हो. Not to say again that 0.05 will also have a lot of weight to it on the players. We'll come to that. ईशान मित्तुल भाई कहाँ है? मित्तुल आज फुटबॉल खेलने गया है, उसका बुध यूनाइटेड का मैच है, so he couldn't join us. I had asked him, और उसका मैच चल रहा है, so he's not available. So आते रहेगा चैनल पे, he'll obviously make appearances. Alessandro Baggioli is still with us. He says we missed Ruspa. Is that somebody's nickname, or is that supposed to be Raspadori, Ajay bhai?
Raspadori.
Yeah, because he said Ruspa, so I thought, is that a nickname or is that Raspadori? Please correct us if we are wrong, Alessandro, by any chance. Football experts says please mention. कर लिया भाई, आपके comments ले लिए, धीरे धीरे ले रहे हैं हम लोग सब.
मिलान फैन है.
हाँ ले लिया सब, उनके उसके ले लिया मैंने. मैजिक के बाद, हाँ सॉरी, हाउ मेनी passes Cambiaso did? ना अरे, तुम यंग प्लेयर को कितना ब्लेम कर सकते हो, पर वो साला उसको ही throwing him randomly into a game. What will he do? Meanwhile, only God knows what Spalletti bought Buongiorno for. He played LCB combo for the first 3 games, then suddenly switches to LCB RCB with a totally. हाँ, वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ अजय भाई, मैंने वो थोड़ी देर पहले ट्वीट दिखाया था. Like, what the hell? How the hell did Buongiorno not get a single minute in this tournament, right? It's just baffling. I'm sorry. मतलब ट्रस्ट होता है ना अजय भाई, हम लोग वही बार बार बोलते हैं ना कि आपने जो स्पेन और फ्रांस का एग्जांपल दिया, एंड अदर कंट्रीज, दीज गाइस ट्रस्ट देयर यूथ, राइट? व्हेन विल इटालियंस ऑन अ होल ट्रस्ट द यूथ? हाउ मेनी टाइम्स शुड वी हैव दिस डिस्कशन, राइट? दे नेवर डू. स्पेलेटी बात करता है यूथ के, अभी उसने वही सेम बात की, राइट? कि हाँ, आई वांट टू रिड्यूस द एवरेज एज ऑफ दिस टीम. ओके, बट देन व्हाई डिडंट यू प्ले वन ऑफ द बेस्ट डिफेंडर इन द लीग लास्ट सीजन, हु इज नॉट दैट ओल्ड
सीजन?
Yeah,
Buongiorno.
Why he would have helped you retain that 3 at the back. You could have brought in Calafiori later in the game as well. Not that Calafiori, कुछ भी हो सकता था. You could have just stuck to your familiar game. So it's baffling. 3 matches, 0 passes, 0 assists. यार, Cambiaso पे, if you're referring to Cambiaso, I guess because since you brought him up earlier, yeah, it's very harsh यार. मतलब वो एक प्लेयर से आप कितना एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हो इतना? What a wingback or fullback. Acha, you're still angry with Cambia, so I guess the game man says is Spalletti the right man? Ajay or Perm, please answer. बहुत briefly अजय भाई पे आप पे छोड़ता हूँ ये.
If you this sample size, अगर आप मैं ये sample size 10 महीने का compare करूँ with the Euros in mind, no.
Yeah, and obviously हम जानते हैं वो, he has been confirmed for the job, but एक चीज है कि जैसे अजय भाई और डीजे भाई ने बोला ना, अगर if he doesn't do well in the next international, let's say even 2 international windows, maybe it's time to reconsider, I guess. So definitely थोड़े last comments लेके close करते हैं. अजय भाई के लिए थोड़े और comments है, इसलिए I want to take it. Where did I stop? Sorry. Oh my God, there are a lot of comments. Spalletti hasn't stick with any one formation or structure or way of playing for the team to get used to. He needs to understand. He can't experiment like this. Fully agreed. अजय भाई और ये में बार-बार बोल के थक गए हम लोग ये सब. अंकल शर्मा का तो कमेंट था. Pio Singh says, do you guys think more players from Italy should go abroad to increase their arsenal? Main reason behind England. देख ये उस दिन Spalletti ने बोला था and मैं fully से disagree नहीं करता, sorry. But यार ऐसा नहीं कि हमारी लीग कचरा है. अगर हमारी लीग वो यूथ सिस्टम थोड़ा अपलिफ्ट करेगी तो और कॉम्पिटिटिव हो जाएगा. द लीग इज नॉट बैड. Players like Di Marco and all these guys, even Pellegrini and all came up at home. You know, Chiesas and all. Chiesa was only not doing well mainly because his injuries have held him back. So it's not like our league is trash, man. Sure, I agree with you. Some of them can go abroad, but you know, it's not like everyone has to go abroad. Anand Singh says even Ranieri is better than Spalletti for Italian national team. I know Anand was very angry with Spalletti in general. So Arnab asks, I think we need a really tactically astute manager to overcome the quality deficit we have at the moment, considering the quality isn't the same as yesteryears. What do you agree with this, Ajay? I think यही हमारा point of discussion था, right? एक manager जो at least adapt कर सके.
Pretty much, but there's no available manager properly apart from Max Allegri.
हाँ, पर वही आपको क्लब कुछ को फिर कन्विंस करना पड़ेगा.
मतलब वो अभी नी जग रिएक्शन लेके कोई मतलब नहीं है.
हाँ. I get with you. I get what you're saying here, but generally I think criticism of Spalletti is more than fair. Inzaghi and Gasperini have done so much better in Europe with 3-5-2, and Spalletti was his 4-3 team in no decent. Fair enough. अच्छा point है. Good point. Ramit, I think Ramit is here from he's come from Ajay Bhai's channel as well. Germany, France, 2 deserving champion of Euros. अरे भाई पहले टूर्नामेंट तो उस फेस पे आने तो दो यार. ये अजय भाई आपके लिए साउथ अफ्रीका क्रिकेट टीम, सट्टा बाजार क्रिकेट टीम में ऑस्ट्रेलिया को आना था. इंडिया के सट्टा बाजार. लुक, इट्स ऑल फॉर यू दिस वन. अजय भैया जी जिंदाबाद. धनंजय इज लुकिंग लाइक ऋतिक रोशन. बाप रे. काई हावर्ट्स अगेंस्ट डेनमार्क, सुपर पेनल्टी, हार्ट रॉब. हाँ यार वो दोनों गोल्स पे थोड़ा ऑब्वियसली कंट्रोवर्सी चल तो रही थी, बट अगेन जर्मनी गॉट द जॉब डन. क्या कर लिया PS5 बन क्या
वो PS बैन किया स्पैलेटी ने.
ओके नहीं उसने सो ही हैड टू क्लैरिफाई दैट उसने नहीं किया था बैन because they had a whole gaming room which set up with table tennis, PlayStation. वो फेक न्यूज़ थी, उधर उसकी इमेज खराब हो गई थी. बट जर्मनी वर्सेस स्पेन राउंड 8 हाँ हो तो सकता है. ऐसी चांसेस लग रहे हैं. हाँ पहले वही कुछ होने से पहले ना. I know Spain is the favorite obviously. Do you think there is a problem with the Italian youth system? They are not producing creative. हाँ ये कपेलो ने अजय भाई थोड़े दिन पहले बोला था ना. I'll pull that up, but briefly अगर आपको आंसर करना है, क्या लगता है आपको इसके बारे में?
I think it's unfair. I think the creativity is still there, but the development, I think that gets stunted because you're not playing in the top level. अभी एक इंग्लैंड का एक एग्जांपल लो, वो जो वॉटन प्लेयर है क्रिस्टल पैलेस का. अगर आप देखोगे he is, wait, just let me confirm his age. Adam Wharton. He is 20 years, okay? And he showed promising signs at Crystal Palace. He became a starter for Crystal Palace.
Yes.
You don't see that in Serie A, unfortunately, at 20 years of age. So that's the issue. I believe that 16, 17-year-olds, there is a lot of talent. Right at the top of my head is Francesco Camada. Just look at him play. But is he going to have that same pathway like any of his peers in France or Germany? That is a worry, big worry.
Yeah, I agree with you. और ये अजय भाई, if you can pull this up, because this is to add to निशांत के question point पे और आपने जो बोला, if you can just quickly pull this up, because Fabio Capello I brought up, right? So I just want to go back to what he had said a few days ago. हाँ, तो उसने बेसिकली अगर आप देख सकते हो स्क्रीन पे बोला था कि the technical curve starts from far away because our country does not cultivate quality anymore. थोड़ा exaggerated लगता है ये statement, थोड़ा एकदम ये first line, but I'm not saying he's wrong. Youth sectors teach tactics but not technique, and this is the long term result. I coached in Madrid and I know how they play football in Spain. मतलब this is also partially right अजय भाई. मतलब tactics are important but technique कहीं ना कहीं lose out हो जाती है. वो natural raw game जो streets पे आप देखते हो और वो जो उनको freedom जो दिया जाता है वो इटली में इतना मिलता नहीं है, right? So maybe which you see with Spain and Spanish and French players a lot. The best moment of the training session is the rondo, not because they can joke and relax, but the technique commands. Again, a valid point. Many see Guardiola as their role model in Italy, but the Guardiola of 10 years ago, Pep has evolved. This confusion, again, I don't fully agree with him here, but this confusion has led to today's limits. Our footballers never take responsibility when it comes to playing the ball or dribbling past. हाँ, चलो एक dribbling past वाली चीज, अजय भाई, I know we are not always agreeing with Capello in this case, but one चीज, एक चीज मैं बोलना चाहता हूँ, really, one player I only always saw with this Azzurri trying to take on their opponent was Chiesa, because that's his natural game. No other really player even tries this. None of them are real proper dribblers. And to his point, he's somewhat right. I don't fully agree with him, but I get where he's coming from. We have been confusing playing good football with sterile ball possession. Good football is what Spain do currently. Again, I don't fully agree with him, but I can understand his thinking behind it. I can somewhat get it. That's the way to go. A model where Nico Williams 21 looks for a 1v1 duel because the coach wants so. So I guess अजय भाई हम लोग बोल सकते हैं we somewhat understand where this guy is coming from, where he's not always right, but वो एक I think larger picture है कि वो natural game ना चला जाता है इटली में because of so much emphasis on tactic. And Nishant, to answer one more thing, na, coaches at the low level in Italy are very underpaid. This was brought up by Alessandro Nesta, and he said that because of that they don't go out of their way to teach that extra stuff to the player. You get my point? जैसे technique अजय भाई बोल रहे थे, हम लोग जो discuss कर रहे थे, they just teach that system and that's it. They don't go beyond that. So Ajay, I'll quickly take the last few comments and we'll close this. कहाँ गए हम लोग? Sorry, इधर था रमित के comment के बाद. हाँ, निशान, sorry. Serie A is in the decline too. Since when was the French league on better than Serie A? यार इतना मैं फार नहीं जाऊंगा कि एकदम से decline में, but अगर youth game को elevate नहीं किया ना तो जाएगा decline में. Growth decrease, another brain dead decision by the ancient beings that run our Italian FA. You put our product out in the better in the world, not close it off from.
पर इसका मैं एक ही जवाब दूंगा. Stay tuned to our channel. A very special video is coming up. उसमें ये सारे explanation आपको क्या बोलते हैं, straight from the horse's mouth बोल सकते हैं, मिल जाएगा आपको इस पे.
उस पे एंड में भी आएंगे, बट अजय भाई ने जो बोला, just keep an eye on that. We'll definitely address it towards the end. Modi ji खुश, Modi ji खुश, Italian Prime Minister sorry after losing to Ramit says, Lovkush says there were so many misses, especially Berardi, Orsolini, Politano, Grifo. हाँ, players तो आप बोल सकते हो यार.
Berardi was injured.
हाँ, Orsolini तो drop. Politano यार, let's be real.
Politano deserve a call up, to be honest. Yeah, Napoli finished 10th in this season, and Vincenzo Grifo, I don't know. I didn't follow him.
उसको पीक में सिलेक्ट नहीं किया था. Vincenzo Grifo now is not the same. But still you can give him a shout out. I don't disagree कि he can be picked up, but देखते हैं. Politano was just a good player out of an average bunch. I still don't rate him that much to be. He's very one-dimensional for me. I'll be very brutally honest with you. Serie B and Serie A bottom clubs need to start developing youth. It's time to stop buying foreign wash bums. देख, तेरा थोड़ा point तो बराबर. I agree with at least. I agree with you. It's not about the Serie B and Serie A bottom clubs. I feel everybody needs to do something for a youth overhaul over here. वो FIGC से चालू होगा. अनाद, अजय भाई, tell me, in which world do only few clubs have a Serie A team? Like, we are literally talking about Juve, AC Milan and Atalanta. Under 23 team in Serie A. Only 3 clubs have that. How has the FA not addressed this situation to help the other clubs build this under 23 team so that under 19 talent is not lost in the shuffle? Right? It's so baffling. That's the league's job to help figure them something out. It's just ridiculous. And he agrees with
if you have guys like Gravina and Lotito,
it's not happening. It's not happening. Hatim says, I agree with Dhananjay भाई WhatsApp group बनाओ ईशान की तरह. I didn't get this. I didn't get this.
देखते WhatsApp का कुछ करते हैं.
हाँ, मितुल भाई का तो मैंने बोल दिया. He's want to play football. I'm saying ancient memes in my last message because that's what they are. They have no context on where the world is going or how to get there. हाँ, we all agree.
Dinosaurs.
अरे भाई, हाँ, डायनासोर्स भाई, एंशिएंट बीइंग्स, मतलब डायनासोर के पहले कुछ होता था, उसको वो भी नाम दे दो चलेगा. लवकुश, Italian players need to play abroad also. Again, this is partially true and partially I would say we don't need to overdo this so that talent also needs to stay back home to improve the existing talent. जो अभी हम लोग वही डिस्कस कर रहे थे, right अजय भाई? There needs to be a balance between all these things. But I agree, वो लोग को रिस्क तो लेना चाहिए. धनंजय भाई, Azzurri football level is like Pakistan cricket team, more than talent, but board can't support. Sorry guys, happy for myself, sad for Meloni ji. Inter is the team which genuinely can win UCL. वो देखो यार, कर तो सकते हैं, but that's a topic for another day. I hope we can, but that's a topic for another day. Juventus को छोड़ो, रोनाल्डो भी खेलता था, मगर इटालियन फुटबॉल क्लब इज डाउनफॉल एरा चाइनीज क्या बोल रहा है भाई, कोरियन बिलियनियर टाइकून्स इन्वेस्ट देयर वेल ओके, सो ही इज ट्राइंग टू से पीपल इन्वेस्ट देयर मनी एल्सवेयर इंस्टेड. हाँ, बात तो है, इटली में कोई
सेरिया में फॉरेन ओनरशिप है अभी 50% ऑफ द क्लब. नेक्स्ट ईयर विल बी फॉरेन.
हाँ, पर रमित बट इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट शुगर डैडीज, वो इटली में नहीं आएंगे जैसा हम जानते हैं अजय भाई. They are not coming to Italy.
No Arab states coming in.
हाँ, वो नहीं आएगा. मुकेश अंबानी, जैक मा want to invest their wealth in Netherlands football league. हाँ, but उधर वो there is a thing to build up from the ground, ना. Even if it's not a run league politically, sabotaged back home. Italian youngsters stars get disappeared in Serie B, C and D and never. Absolutely. Being an Inter fan, तो ये Anand, we should know better. Because we don't have an under 23 team. Ajay bhaiya zindabad. Bro, Italy just shit. They can't score one. They cost me a 6 odd parlay. गुस्सा तो उसके लिए है. I won't hold you back.
मेरा भी गया. मेरा 3 odd parlay गया मेरा.
Oh. भैया और बहनों,
Argentina winning, India winning and Italy winning.
भाइयों और बहनों, please subscribe. Otherwise, I'll block your account. Thank you. ये highlight करके रखिए. Some Italian footballers changed their nationality and joined Netherlands, Belgium citizenship. Italy is kind of Indian team, but we don't trust youngsters. हाँ, हम लोग बार-बार बोलते हैं इटली और इंडिया में बहुत सिमिलैरिटीज है. वो आपको एक अलग एपिसोड में पता चलेगा सुन, जैसे अजय भाई ने बोला. यूके आई थिंक, हाँ इंग्लैंड. ओके यार, इसके प्रेडिक्शंस क्लोज करते समय ले लेंगे अजय भाई. अरे मित्तुल बोला भाई, मित्तुल इज गॉन टू प्ले फुटबॉल. रिलैक्स. बिग 4 इन यूरोस, जर्मनी, फ्रांस, स्पेन एंड इंग्लैंड. Netherlands will replace Italy. Relax. They can. I'm not saying they won't, पर एकदम से इन्वेस्टमेंट से करके ना, वो मैजिक ट्री नहीं है कि जो ग्रो हो जाएगी और एकदम से बदल जाएगा. चिल होता है. I'm not saying it can't happen, but relax. थोड़ा टाइम दो. After yesterday's performance of Azzurri football team, Meloni sorry and Modi ji is happy after India's win. Ajay bhaiya, we miss you. अरे भाई अजय भैया इधर ही है.
मैं याद नहीं हूँ.
When you get a next entertaining live stream, वो क्या इतना बोर हो गया क्या इटली के डिस्कशन से? जोसे मोरिनियो को साइन करने जा रहा था इजी अल्कमार ऑफ नेदरलैंड्स. आई डोंट थिंक इट वुड हैव हैपेंड हियर. गेट इंजागी टू अ ड्यूअल नेशनल टीम. सो ये मैं अजय भाई क्यों बोल रहा था, आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि स्पेसिफिकली इंजागी, राइट, बट इफ सम internal coach does open up, a good coach obviously, be it Simone, Motta, Gasperini, just to name a few, it could be an interesting prospect because these guys do adapt to the players around them. मैं आपको सिर्फ एक ब्रीफली पूछना चाहता हूँ, अगर सिमोने हो या मोटा हो या कोई और, अगर ये अपॉर्चुनिटी आती हो तो आप ये चेंज करवा, मतलब would you be for this change simply enough
to see a big team actually do my football manager journey? Would be very interesting. because football manager पे मैं हमेशा रोमा और इटली मैनेजर था हमेशा. But I don't think so it's going to happen in reality.
it won't probably won't happen, but would
but hypothetically अगर तू बात करे hypothetically तो I think Simone Inzaghi is the man for the job because Scudetto winner है, तेरा block of Inter players है. अगर मिलता है hypothetical scenario, so pick Inzaghi for the job.
Yeah. I understand where you're coming from.
Or even Antonio Conte, very.
उसका तो मजा आता है यार with the national team. Wait for him to call up.
Spinazzola is back.
Spinazzola, yeah, when he's 39.
Bernardeschi is back.
Yeah.
Grazia Pele is back from retirement.
Yeah, Acerbi, 45-year-old Acerbi. The Mukesh Ambani company and Walt Disney take Netherlands Football League right sources. हाँ, I know what you mean, Ramit, but सिर्फ right लेने से ना इतने बड़े changes नहीं आते. Initial steps है. We will see what their whole agenda is structure-wise. Because Dutch football was once at the top, then it went down because of internal politics. अगर आप Johan Cruyff की autobiography पढ़ोगे, you will get the whole picture. So, and the product needs to be that entertaining for people to invest. Again, उतने stars आएंगे, वैसे ही league improve होगा. So there's a long way. एकदम से ये changes नहीं होते. What was wrong with Barella today? He couldn't. Trishu says. Trishu, I just said this in the beginning of the stream. He was being played as a regista. वो अपने natural role में नहीं खेल रहा था. Spalletti limited him. I can't blame Barella for that. I'm very sorry. Where is our Musiala?
And credit to Switzerland also for actually qualifying Barella. So they really played well.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Where is our Musiala words? जो अजय भाई बार-बार बोल रहे थे. Where is our Musiala and words is अजय भाई अपना क्या है वो? Who's this guy यार? Cutrone, right? I mean that's young for us.
मटिया डेस्ट्रो को भी लेके आ जाओ वापस यार.
yeah, Italian football and team downfall begins. अरे relax भाई, ये मैं इतना negativity नहीं लेना चाहता. Why couldn't Barella find those spaces today? He should have done. मैं again, he was not in his role. ये कहाँ पे लूँ? हाँ, boy from Durban is here. Italy rant. FIGC job entertain UEFA, stop piracy, but nothing on infrastructure, no youth development. अच्छा, piracy लोग रोकने के लिए पहले आ जाती है हमारी लीग.
बहुत सीरियस है.
Italian players should play abroad to get. हाँ यार, we agree partially, not entirely, but partially. Get familiar with different play styles. It's also there in the league. Magic Tiwari, वो ऐसा नहीं कि लीग में नहीं. Adios Paletti. Serie A problems are all because of our own mistakes. No one else is responsible. Stadiums are in 90s. Zero budget in marketing. I fully agree with him. No, now growth decree. Germany, France.
This sums it up.
This sums it up. ये अगर आपने comment देख रहे हो, this is the problem. Guys, I'm back, says Prajwal. Germany, France, and India are like his favorite team, says Ramit. Boy from Durban says, boys be saying Serie A downfall responsible for national team downfall. Which downfall? Exactly, they have stars. वही तो. League में इतना downfall नहीं है. Let's be real. भाई attract sign कर रहे. Okay. नहीं यार, I don't know if you're trolling or what, Ramit. Because मुझे लग रहा है आपको लग रहा है इन्वेस्टमेंट होगी तो एकदम बड़ी, एकदम से एक दिन में या एक महीने में the Dutch league is going to become a top league. I would say relax. Sure, it can become, but relax. Prajwal says, guys join late off topic, but wanna hear the feeling in short of you guys winning T20. मैं तो क्रिकेट फैन नहीं हूँ, अजय भाई से ही सुन लो आप.
Very, very, very happy, and I think there is a live video of Robin Uthappa that pretty much sums it up. He was so emotional, and जो उसने बोला, I think we all felt that. It was I just released a video वैसे on my channel about my reaction, and the only thing that was there, it was a relief. The जो आंसू आए थे, जो tears आए थे, it was a sense of relief that finally we have gotten the monkey off our back. कि इतने time we have come so close, not won an ICC trophy since 2013. It was just like a relief to win and finally get that satisfaction and kind of that pride back here, because these bunch of players are quite talented. They deserved a trophy. It was a long time coming. So overall, very, very emotional night for Indian cricket team fans.
Fair enough. वही, I agree. और ये लास्ट थोड़े कमेंट्स लेके अजय भाई स्क्रीन शेयर कर दो. मैंने आपका चैनल पुल अप कर लिया, सो आप ही ये आपको प्लग कर दो.
Absolutely. So the latest video is, if अगर आप वीडियोस में जाओगे, you can just go to videos, Param. So the latest video is on the India-Italy reaction, and you can see it's a duality. अगर आप वो thumbnail दे, Italy out, India win, so it was a very interesting night for me, because I was seesawing between two emotions, watching Italy on my mobile and India on the TV. तो भाई मतलब सब्सक्राइब करो, कंटेंट मेरे चैनल में आता रहेगा एंड कैल्शियो चर्चा में भी आते रहेगा. तो just appreciate if you can subscribe, hit that subscribe button and then share it with your friends as well. ये तूने incognito बोला क्या? तूने सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया?
नहीं, it's on incognito because for some reason normal window पे StreamYard doesn't work for me. I need to figure that out. So
ठीक है यार. तो भाई लोग सब्सक्राइब करो and share it with your friends who watch sports as well. Really appreciate your support.
डेफिनेटली अजय भाई के चैनल पे सब्सक्राइब करो यार. और ऑब्वियसली एक तो कैल्शियो चर्चा पे we'll just close this off, लास्ट 2-3 कमेंट लेके. Our Musiala is Castrovali and words is Baldanzi. I'm so excited.
Actually अगर ये पॉइंट में सही है, I think it's a good time to integrate Baldanzi into the team as well.
देखो यार, Baldanzi is still young. I get it. It's not the most flashy.
Hoping for big things next season for him.
But I hope कि Baldanzi को ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म मिले रोमा में जो he becomes a proper top talent for the future. अभी तो long way to go. I'm so excited for Inter Milan next season. Lautaro थोड़ा मगोना को insane they should reach. Says Trishu यार, I mean definitely we have an exciting squad, but थोड़ा मैं cautious रहूँगा एकदम. I like to be cautious in the beginning of the season, to be fair with you. Boy from Durban says cricket. I'm from Nepal. Even I was emotional seeing players cry. Man, what a game! I think cricket का ही था वो. भैया वो तो African League footballers also played in Euro League. तो Azzurri की English League, German football league खेले में problem नहीं है. But there is nothing wrong with the Italian league. You can't suddenly say कि Serie A is trash, man. Come on. You still have top players here. भैया screenshot ले लिया channel का. Good. अजय भाई को support करते रहो. For PL fans, when United were third, won Carabao Cup, they couldn't convince Pavard to join them. Thank you for saying that. That's all I can say. भैया कुछ नहीं होगा Dutch league में investment. I don't agree. I don't know why you're on about that Dutch league point. यार एक महीने में it doesn't grow instantly. It takes time. But I think Ajay bhai, we'll close this here. Thank you for everyone joining in. Again, we appreciate the support. The subscriber count is at 552. और अगर आप स्ट्रीम पे हो अभी, अगर आपने सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया, प्लीज सब्सक्राइब टू कैल्शियो चर्चा. यू नो इट हेल्प्स अस बिग टाइम. आप मैंने अजय भाई का चैनल थोड़ी देर पहले दिखाया था. प्लीज सब्सक्राइब टू हिज चैनल एज वेल. एंड सून, जैसे अजय भाई ने बोला, राइट अजय भाई, समथिंग बिग इज कमिंग योर वे.
Big,
वी वर
something big is-
ऑलवेज सेइंग कि कीप योर फिंगर्स क्रॉस्ड. होगा कि नहीं, इट हैज डन. It
It's
will
done.
come out. Yeah, it's done. We are very relieved it's done. So maybe keep an eye out on the channel. Just keep an eye out on the channel generally. You will see, and also on our social media handles description में मैंने सब रखा है. Insta handles और Twitter handles, personal और Calcio चर्चा के. Just keep an eye because we will start posting regarding that big thing very soon. So
Very special video, very special podcast.
yeah, already हो चुका है obviously. So please keep an eye is all I'm saying. And subscribe karo, spread the word after this stream. If you know people who don't know about us, please spread the word, get them to subscribe. Obviously don't force them, but tell them about Italian football, and if they're interested, please get them to subscribe. 12 people still here. We appreciate the support. Any closing words from you, Ajay bhai?
For the Azzurri sempre, I think the Italian national team will bounce back like it always has. तो बस देखा जाएगा नेक्स्ट चैप्टर कैसे लिखते हैं. Until then, I think थोड़ा pressure off हो गया. I can enjoy the rest of the Euros. Hopefully, Slovakia can pull up an upset today.
Yeah. Sorry, on that note, यार अजय भाई, quickly predictions comments में आप लोग भी
England
predictions
1-0. England 1-0
England
जीतेगा. Harry Kane penalty मारेगा, England जीतेगा. But hoping that
And
Slovakia can pull up
and
a
for the
win.
second,
Spain,
for the
Spain.
second, Spain and Georgia, Spain. Yeah, I think I want to. मैंने उस दिन बोला था आपको, I want Slovakia to win, but I think England will take it unfortunately, and I think Spain ही जीतेगा. But आप लोग भी comments में डाल दो before we close this. आपके थोड़े predictions देखने हैं. People are saying great stream, entertaining stream. Italy needs like a Ralph Rangnick. हाँ यार, उसकी वो club mentality is very good. Entertaining stream says Ramit, 5-star rating. Thank you. Leave a thumbs up अगर आपने like नहीं किया stream को, please leave a thumbs up. Again, all of this we repeat a lot, but it helps the algorithm यार. आप लोग के सपोर्ट की वजह से हमारा लाइव स्ट्रीम ट्यूरिन तक पहुंचा है. राइट अजय भाई? सो प्लीज कीप दैट गोइंग. सो yeah, I think Ajay will close this. Thank you guys for joining us. Ciao. We'll see you soon. Keep an eye on the social media and the channels, and you'll get to know what's coming your way. So ciao, bye.